Here's a sobering truth. Most people will never achieve financial freedom, not because they don't earn enough, but because they never master the fundamentals of money management. Today, I'm sharing the 5 signs of money mastery that separate the wealthy from the financially struggling. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly where you stand and what you need to do to take control of your financial future. This is MindSnack Finance, bite-sized lessons with lasting value. This topic is crucial because I'm going to reveal the 5 signs that indicate you've achieved money mastery. These aren't theoretical concepts or get-rich-quick schemes. These are the fundamental principles that separate people who build lasting wealth from those who struggle paycheck to paycheck. And here's what's interesting. These signs are interconnected. Master the first one, and you're setting yourself up to master the others. Fail at one, and you're creating financial vulnerabilities that can derail your entire financial life. So, let's dive into it. Sign number 1. You never spend beyond your means. Let's start with the foundation of all financial success, living below your means. I know what you're thinking. That's obvious. Everyone knows they shouldn't spend more than they earn. But here's the reality. Knowing and doing are two completely different things. Most people cannot do this consistently, and that's exactly why so many end up drowning in debt. Think about it. When was the last time you walked into a store or scrolled through an online shop and wanted something you couldn't afford? What did you do? Did you walk away, or did you justify the purchase by telling yourself you'd figure it out later? That moment right there is where money mastery begins or ends. Living below your means requires 2 critical elements: financial discipline and clear financial goals. Without discipline, every purchase becomes negotiable. Without goals, you have no reason to say no to instant gratification. Here's what money masters do differently. They set strict limits on their spending and they track every dollar. You've probably heard the saying, you can't control what you can't measure. This is absolutely true with money. If you don't know where your money is going, you have no control over your financial destiny. Let me be crystal clear about something. Living below your means is the only way you can create wealth in life. It doesn't matter if you earn $50,000 a year or $500,000 a year. If you spend everything you make, you will never build wealth. It's not about how much you earn. It's about how much you keep every month to save and invest. Now, if you're struggling with this first sign, there are only 2 possible reasons. Either your income isn't sufficient to cover your basic needs, which means you need to focus on increasing your earning potential, or you need to dramatically improve your financial discipline. Most people fall into the second category. Take an honest look at your spending. How much are you spending on subscriptions you barely use? How often are you eating out when you could cook at home? How many impulse purchases are cluttering your home right now? These are the silent wealth killers that prevent people from ever achieving financial freedom. The bottom line is this. If you can't consistently spend below your means, you'll never master money. Period. Everything else we're going to talk about depends on this foundation. Sign number 2. You have an emergency fund. Let's talk about your financial safety net, the emergency fund. Here's a stark reality. Most people are one unexpected expense away from financial disaster. A car repair, a medical bill, a broken appliance. These aren't rare events, they're inevitable parts of life. Yet most people are completely unprepared when they happen. Building an emergency fund is easier said than done because it requires consistent saving, and most people simply don't have the discipline to save month after month. They might save for a few months, then something comes up, they dip into their savings and they never rebuild it. This cycle keeps them perpetually vulnerable. So, what defines a proper emergency fund? Here's a simple test. If you can manage a $1,000 emergency without going into debt or panicking, you're on the right path. That's your baseline. But financial experts recommend having 3 to 6 months of living expenses saved. That means if you spend $4,000 a month to live, you should have between $12,000 and $24,000 in your emergency fund. I know that sounds like a lot, especially if you're just starting out. But here's the beautiful thing. When you master sign number 1 and consistently spend below your means, you create a healthy gap every month between what you earn and what you spend. That gap is what you use to build your emergency fund. Your emergency fund isn't an investment, it's insurance. Keep it in a high-yield savings account where it's liquid and accessible, but not so accessible that you're tempted to use it for non-emergencies. This money is your financial cushion, your peace of mind, your protection against life's inevitable surprises. Without an emergency fund, you're forced to go into debt every time something unexpected happens. And once you're in debt, you're paying interest, which means you're moving backwards financially. With an emergency fund, you handle emergencies without derailing your financial progress. That's the difference between financial stress and financial confidence. Sign number 3, you don't carry high interest debt. Now let's talk about one of the biggest wealth destroyers out there, high interest debt. High interest debt is like a hole in your financial boat. No matter how much money you earn, no matter how hard you work, that debt is constantly draining your wealth through interest payments. It's working against you 24/7, 365 days a year. What qualifies as high interest debt? Credit card debt, personal loans, payday loans, and sometimes student and car loans. These types of debt typically carry interest rates anywhere from 8% to 25% or higher. Every month you carry these balances, you're hemorrhaging money that could be building your wealth. Let me be clear about credit cards. You can absolutely use them. In fact, using credit cards responsibly can build your credit score and earn you rewards. The key word here is responsibly. That means paying your balance in full every month. If you're paying interest on your credit card, you're not using it responsibly, and you're losing money every single month. Here's what money masters understand. Every dollar you pay in interest is a dollar that can't compound and grow for your future. If you're paying $200 a month in credit card interest, that's $2,400 a year. Invested over 30 years at an 8% return, that would have grown to over $280,000. Let that sink in. Your credit card debt isn't just costing you today, it's stealing from your future. Now, there is one exception to the no debt rule: your mortgage. A mortgage on your primary residence is fundamentally different from consumer debt for 2 reasons. First, real estate is typically an appreciating asset. Your home generally increases in value over time. Second, mortgage interest rates are usually relatively low, typically around 7% or lower, especially compared to credit card rates. But everything else? Get rid of it. Make it your mission to eliminate high interest debt as aggressively as possible. Use the debt avalanche method and attack your highest interest rate debt first, or use the debt snowball method and pay off your smallest balances first for psychological wins. Either way, make eliminating this wealth destroyer your top priority. Remember, you cannot build lasting wealth while simultaneously bleeding money through interest payments. It's mathematically impossible. Money mastery requires that you free yourself from this financial burden. Sign number 4, you save and invest at least 15% of your income. Here's where wealth building shifts into high gear: consistent saving and investing. If you've mastered the first 3 signs, this 4th sign becomes not just possible, but natural. When you spend below your means, when you have your emergency fund in place, and when you're not throwing money away on interest payments, you've created that healthy financial gap we've been talking about. Now it's time to put that gap to work, building your future. The magic number is 15%. That's the minimum percentage of your income you should be saving and investing if you want to build substantial wealth over time. Now, if you're just starting out and 15% feels overwhelming, start with what you can. Even 5% is better than nothing. But make it your goal to work your way up to at least 15%. Here's why this number matters. Investing 15% of your income consistently over time, with compound interest working in your favor, will allow you to build a comfortable retirement nest egg. Start early, and the math becomes incredibly powerful. Let's look at an example. If you're 25 years old, earning $50,000 a year, and you invest 15%, $7,500 annually, with an average 8% return, by age 65, you'll have approximately $2 million. That's the power of consistent investing combined with time. But here's what separates money masters from everyone else. They don't just save this money and let it sit in a bank account, earning minimal interest. They invest it wisely. They understand that savings accounts are for emergency funds and short-term goals. Long-term wealth is built through investing in assets that appreciate: stocks, bonds, real estate, index funds, retirement accounts. This is where financial education becomes critical. You need to understand the basics of investing: diversification, risk tolerance, tax-advantaged accounts like 401ks, HSAs, and IRAs, the power of index funds, and the importance of keeping fees low. You don't need to become a financial expert, but you do need to understand enough to make informed decisions about where your money is working for you. The beautiful part about this sign is that it's entirely within your control. You choose how much to save. You choose where to invest. You choose whether to start today or put it off until tomorrow. And the choices you make today will determine your financial reality decades from now. Start early, invest consistently, choose wisely. That's the formula. Sign number 5, your net worth increases consistently. The final sign of money mastery is the natural result of everything we've discussed: consistent net worth growth. Your net worth is simple to calculate. It's everything you own minus everything you owe. Assets minus liabilities. When you're spending below your means, building your emergency fund, avoiding high interest debt, and investing consistently, something powerful happens. Your net worth grows steadily, month after month, year after year. This is where you start to see the real magic of money mastery. It's not just about the money you're actively saving and investing. It's about the compound growth happening behind the scenes. Albert Einstein allegedly called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world, saying, "He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it." Here's what compound growth looks like. In the early years, your progress might feel slow. You're putting money away, but the growth seems modest. But as time goes on, something amazing happens. Your investments start earning returns. Then those returns start earning returns. Your money is literally making money for you while you sleep, while you work, while you're living your life. As your net worth increases, you gain something in addition to money: options. You have the option to take calculated risks in your career, the option to help your family or support causes you care about, the option to retire comfortably. Financial freedom isn't really about the money itself. It's about the choices that money provides. Here's another key advantage of growing your net worth: diversification opportunities. When you're just starting out, you might be limited to simple investments like index funds in your retirement account. But as your wealth grows, you can diversify into real estate, dividend-paying stocks, bonds, or even start your own business. This diversification gives you more financial power and more protection against market volatility. Track your net worth regularly, not obsessively, but at least quarterly. Create a simple spreadsheet or use an app. Watching your net worth grow provides motivation and confirms that your financial strategy is working. And if your net worth isn't growing, it's an early warning signal that something in your financial life needs attention. Remember, net worth growth is a marathon, not a sprint. There will be months or even years where the market is down and your net worth temporarily declines. That's normal. What matters is the long-term trend. If you're following the principles of money mastery, that trend line should be pointing upward over time. Now, here's my question for you. How many of these signs can you honestly say you've mastered? If you're exhibiting all 5 signs, congratulations. You are truly excelling at money management, and you're in a small minority of people who have achieved genuine financial mastery. Keep doing what you're doing, and your financial future is incredibly bright. But if you failed one or more of these signs, don't get discouraged. Seriously, most people fail multiple signs, and that's why many people struggle financially. The good news is that now you know exactly what you need to work on. This is your opportunity to pause, take an honest look at where you are in your financial life, and implement an action plan. Pick one sign that you're failing and make it your mission to master it over the next 90 days. Then move on to the next one. Small, consistent improvements compound into major transformation over time. Remember, money mastery isn't about perfection. It's about progress. It's about making better financial decisions today than you made yesterday. It's about building systems and habits that make good financial behavior automatic rather than something you have to constantly think about. The path to financial freedom isn't complicated, but it does require discipline, patience, and commitment. The question is, are you willing to do what most people won't so you can live like most people can't? Your financial future is in your hands.